Oh, would you look at this? Hey, dude! Alright, morning after the eclipse, we're taking a little drive to see if we can find some aquatic wildlife, and we got one crossing. A young common snapping turtle, Legia serpentina. Hello, sir. These guys are quite common across the U.S., all the way from the East Coast over to the mountains, and introduced in a few other places too, but not as big as their alligator cousins that also range up into this area, but impressive animals nonetheless. Anyway, since he was moving across, we're just gonna kind of get out of his way in a sec here and let him go.
Though I've seen these guys before, I'm not sure if I've actually shared them on the channel. Interesting animals though, usually quite secretive, they don't come out of the water very often, and most of my experience with them was actually one that was kept as a rehabilitated pet in my old high school classroom.
We got a barred owl out in the swamp here. Just barely missed him flying across the road when he was closer. First time I've actually seen one. That's so cool. I wish he would look this way.
And this is another of those cases of I've heard them plenty of times, but never managed to catch them on film, because even the rare times where I might have had a glimpse of them, and I wasn't sure back then, even no time to catch them actually on the camera. Barred owls are usually fairly common creatures across the eastern half of the US. They like wooded areas, and they can be both diurnal and nocturnal active animals depending on when the prey happens to be active. After the owl though, this Amsonia or blue star was the only thing found, so we moved further southwest, heading towards where it was a little less rainy, a little warmer, stopped by an area with a beautiful hillside covered in paintbrush and amazing violets, and then finally...
Oh, we got a young little fence lizard of some kind out here. I'll have to double check if I'm in range for prairie or if it's the eastern, but first little reptile wandering around at this new location I've stopped at. And a second even bigger fence lizard as we listen to the people in the firing range down below. Very annoying. Well, it took way too long, but we've got a trio of gorgeous prairie ringnecks here. Look at that tail on that guy with that red color. All under one rock. We'll flip it over shortly. Beautiful animals. That belly is completely different from the one that we saw over in Illinois. But hey, we've got ourselves a trio of gorgeous little snakies. Look at that belly. My goodness. You are beautiful. We'll get a couple of photos and then put their rock back and put them back under. And there's a fourth, just as found. I have no idea what it is about this little stretch right here, but there's something going on. So that's great. Gotta move him so I don't squish him. Look at that belly color. That's amazing. Look at you. You're gorgeous. We'll put your rock back, okay? And little guy number 5. Tiny little thing, but gorgeous. And all the shooters down below again. That's really annoying. Beautiful snake, though. And would you believe it, ringneck number 6. Another tiny little guy. We'll just put him back under the rock here. There he goes.
With lizards and ringnecks being the only things found there, decided to move, especially to get away from all the shooting there. Didn't realize that was such an active space for that, but headed finally into extreme southeastern Kansas. I was hoping to get one more chance at like a western worm snake or such, so we stopped at a little wilderness area, found some beautiful white flowers, and soon rocks flipped to find
new spot, another ringneck. Look at that. Beautiful little guy. Well, there we go. It's just crossing the path here. This is a little DeKay's brown snake, and an absolutely beautifully colored one, especially once he puffs up like this. Come here, dude. Hold on. Just a sec. Just a sec. He is quite a nicely colored little animal, actually. Look at that. Storaria decay. Now these guys, he's flipping all over the place. Come on, calm down. These guys are completely harmless snakes. They are a natricid. They are related to garter snakes. And like garter snakes, it may be possible that this guy actually is rear fang venomous. But again, harmless to people because it's hard to even get them to bite. This guy was kind of acting like he would earlier, but they're not even big enough to really do anything. The red-bellied snake, I know, does have Duvernoy's glands and rear fangs, and these guys being really related to them, and of course the garter snakes, it's likely they do, although I can't find any official records that say so. But so cool. The last one that I saw of this species actually was hit by a car, so seeing one that is actually healthy and alive is wonderful. So we're going to get a couple more photos and then just let him on his way.
Most people who are familiar with reptiles who live in the eastern half of the U.S. probably consider these guys to be basically trash snakes, the little drab things that everyone finds around their gardens and stuff, but they don't live where I live, so for me it's a special treat to see them, especially on finding, this is the only the second one that I've ever actually seen in the wild, and great color too, especially when he flattened out in defense like in these photos here. Completely harmless, even if you by some odd miracle manage to get one to try to bite, they can't even manage to break skin, so they're built to eat earthworms and slugs, so they're about as harmless as their food is.
So he was just poking along up here for some reason. I'm not sure what he's doing on this high slope, but there he goes either way. Beautiful. And yet another little ringneck flopping around. He's in shed too, but you can tell he's got some beautiful color on that tail. What a pretty little snake. Even when he's in blue, we'll put him back under his rock. And we got two more little squirmers. These ones are not in shed, so we can see those beautiful tail colors. Look at that. You're so pretty. Pair of them were under a rock. We'll put them right back. There they go. And there's another little guy. We'll move him out of the way real quick to put his rock back. So many of these today. Alright, next rock over. A really big, very orange ringneck. He's pretty. Focus camera, thank you. Look at that. He's gorgeous. Especially with that bright red tail. We'll just put him back under his rock. Zoom. And there's something else brand new. Two of them, flat-headed snakes. We're going to pull them out for a better look. So check out the size of these guys. This is Tantilla gracilis. This is the flat-headed snake. I've been looking for these guys for quite a while. These are probably not adults, but on the other hand, they also don't get that big either. They are so tiny. Now you can tell the difference between them and the Plains black-headed. One, because they have kind of a small flat head. I dropped one. It's so hard to hold these guys. But they have kind of a flattened head. It's going in. Okay, try that again. They're so tiny. But they have kind of a flattened head, and the black that's on their head kind of fades into their body rather than forms a distinctive black cap. So, very distinct from the Plains black-headed. Now again, these guys, they're so tiny, pretty little pinky belly too. They are so tiny, they're not fully grown. These might get 8 or 9 inches long, but they don't get much bigger than that. And what they mainly eat? Centipedes. And would you believe it, these are also a rear-fanged venomous snake. But of course, at this size, and because they literally never try to bite, that is impossible for them to pose any sort of danger to people. So we're going to get a couple of photos and then put them back.
So as common as their food source is, those tiny little centipedes that you find under rocks and stuff all over the place, and as widespread as these guys are throughout much of the plains and Midwest states, you would think they'd have been a little easier to find, but this is the first time that I've actually been in their range, and it's been several tries that I've actually been able to turn them up. Adorable little things, and it makes for 2 species so far alive that I've found in the Tantilla genus. Hopefully we'll find a few more to compare to these guys.
All right, and now we're just gonna put them right back in the leaves. They'll figure their way from there. Well, looks like the 2 flat-headed snakes are probably gonna be the last thing that we see. Some of the big targets that I was still hoping for today, the western worm snake, the mud snakes, broad-banded water, are still a no-go, so that means another trip I'll have to take down to this region, hopefully not too long from now, to try and find them again. I hope to actually be taking a trip near the end of this month into Oklahoma, and I'll be back within range for a lot of these guys out there, but wherever I am for the next video, we'll see. Until then, if you enjoy seeing educational videos and adventures like this, and you'd like to help support the actual trips as well as the production of the films, the editing and stuff, all that takes time and money, do consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/hcarlton. Members there get extra benefits back as well. Or you can donate at Coffee. We have merchandise at our Teespring shop, or there's the plants that I sell, the resin gem jewelry, and sometimes baby snakes as pets on carltoncarnivores.com. All the links for these will be in the video description below. If you can't support financially, giving attention is also a great support. Watching the videos all the way through, because those watch hours really do matter. Liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, turn on the black bell so you don't miss the videos that are coming up, and leaving comments. And of course, if you want to see extra videos, tidbits, and such, you can always find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Carlton Carnivores. You can find more information at the database and blog on carltoncarnivores.com. But until next time, wherever we might end up, I'm Hawken Carlton, and this is Carlton Carnivores.